Friday, the 13th of March, I heard that all theaters, movie theaters, had to be closed. And during the weekend, I just had the feeling that we have to do something.
And what I think it's really interesting is how someone from the private sector took initiative to help the artists and especially the independent artists.
Good Practices, a podcast about municipal response to COVID-19 from Connective Cities.
Welcome to this episode of Good Practices, a podcast about municipal response to COVID-19 from Connective Cities, the platform for promoting an international exchange of experiences among urban practitioners. My name is Daniela Marzavan. In this podcast, we get to know different practical examples from urban practitioners from all over the world who developed measures to tackle the challenges posed by this pandemic. Co-host by my side is Beate Stender.
Hello.
She is a journalist from Berlin, and together with the Connective Cities team, she has researched the stories. Hi, Beate. I'm very curious to get to know today's story and the good practice you have found in the middle of Berlin.
In the middle of Berlin, yes. Today we speak about a good practice from Berlin, that's right. And that's the city where I'm from, it's my hometown. And this is the protagonist for our episode.
My name is Armin Berger. I founded a company named 3PC 25 years ago. And we are specialized on digital solutions. We do websites, apps, and everything around that. And we are in Berlin at Oranienplatz, nearly 100 people working on a lot of projects.
As we can hear, Berger is coming from the field of technology, and this is super interesting because the challenge we speak about today comes not from the field of technology, it comes from the creative scene, from the creative economy in Berlin. We all know Berlin is worldwide known for their creative scene and their big creative output in music, in theater, in film, in art. And when the lockdown started in Berlin on March 14, this lockdown had a huge impact, especially to all of the artists.
I remember on the Friday, the 13th of March, I heard that all theaters, movie theaters, had to be closed. And during the weekend, I just had the feeling that we have to do something to kind of fight this situation. And my partner and I, we kind of came up with an idea while we had breakfast. We thought, okay, since we do digital platforms, why not establish one that helps in this situation?
So the best ideas come over food, that's clear by now. That's part of the good practice, that's for sure. And also they come from necessity and from crisis. I think Berlin is a creative city and one of the most important creative cities in the world. And I think this is going to be really inspiring for other cities that have this smaller artist community that are independent artists that do not rely on public funding and on help from public institutions that really struggle in this lockdown. And what I think it's really interesting is how someone from the private sector took initiative to help the artists and especially the independent artists.
That's true. And I think one of the main aspects of this story is how fast he reacted.
So we decided, why not write an email to Klaus Lederer and ask him whether he's interested to fund this idea. And I think, I don't remember, did we send it on Sunday or Monday? But at the end, on Monday, that was really fast, He wrote back and said, yeah, okay, that's good, great idea. We are, supporting this. And on Tuesday, he arranged, he has a big network, of course. He arranged a big phone conference about Berliner Life. I don't know when we came up with the name, maybe we had it on Tuesday. And there were many institutions that are working in this section in Berlin were connected, the RBB, Music Board and others, Kulturprojekte. And we had this phone conference and we agreed on doing it. We told everybody what our plan is, and they supported us. They agreed in supporting us, and we started. On Tuesday and on Saturday we were done and online. so it's important to know the days, the weekdays, because that was so fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was so fast. I think we have to summarize this. On Sunday, they had breakfast.
No, when was the lockdown? I think you need to tell us when was the lockdown.
The lockdown started on Saturday. Saturday, that was March 14. And on Sunday, and the next day, he had breakfast and they decided, okay, let's do something. They wrote the email. Klaus Lederer reacted on Monday. On Tuesday, they got started. On Friday, they were done. So what they built was a platform. They call it Berlin Alive. And
how is it possible to build a platform from scratch in only 3 working days?
Well, Armin Berger got a lot of support. First, he got the support of Klaus Lederer, as we could listen to.
The financial support, right?
He got the financial support and, well, he contacted all the media people. He contacted all the relevant press officers. And so he was really the one who was pushing it to the whole crowd, There was a second thing that he was supported by. Armin Berger told me he just needed a handful of people. He needed someone for the back end, someone for the front end, or a designer, someone who was communicating to the artists, and a project manager, and that's it, just 5-6 people. And of course, he's running this company, and so he has this professional staff. So sure, there were these 2 things. He had someone who was distributing it, paying for it, and then he had the professionals who were very quickly
available to him. So we see how important it is to create these public-private partnerships in times of crisis, because you can react really quickly and who are the right professionals and the right people to implement your project in real time.
Exactly. And I think we should have a look to what they were building.
At the end, it's a very simple platform where all the content is user-generated. So we only have a very small editorial department that is involved in all this. All the content comes from users that publish live streams. That's the basic idea. And one part of this platform or a basic idea is that it's very lean, very slim, not too much technology involved, and that it's in general very open for everybody to use it. It's a little bit like a playground.
Okay, now I understand how they could pull it up with only 5 people, because the content was generated by the artist.
Exactly. And we should go on and listen to Armin Berger how the streaming platform works.
Okay, the whole streaming happens outside of the platform, so you have to choose whether you want to stream it over YouTube, over Facebook, or whatever, or your different streaming platform. It's completely open. You decide what you want to do, and then the thing is that you can describe your project on our platform. You can publish some designs, some photos or whatever. And since it's all about live streaming, you have to choose a date and a time, and you publish this, and that's it. It's very simple. It's at the end low tech, and we don't support. We have FAQs about how to stream and all that, but all the streaming happens outside of the platform.
Yeah, I think these are one of the main aspects of this platform. You cannot stream directly on the platform. The platform links you to other streaming services. In a way, it's a meta platform. Yeah. And
yeah, okay, I get it now.
Let's listen to how Armin Berger is describing it.
At the end, it's a calendar for live streams. And the funny thing about it is, if you think about it, it's so little. The thing it does is so little, but that's the missing part, because there are live streams everywhere in the world. There are millions, trillions all the time, of course, but you don't see them, you don't find them. And it's so simple that this little thing brings it all together. And we had more than nearly 800 live streams on our platform, And everybody would think, you have to set up the infrastructure and the payment and all that stuff. It's true, but I think sometimes it's important to see what's there and use that and see what's not there. And the thing that is not there is this one single point of contact, and you can see all the live streams that are available in Berlin.
I think it's a great service, especially for the citizens, for the end users that really want to enjoy concerts and enjoy artistic expression in times of lockdown. But I was wondering, how did they manage to support the artists?
That's a good question. In this case, they worked with a donation system.
Right away from the beginning, we started with a button that made it possible to donate to the artist. And now we have added an extra service that's called Solidarity Ticket or something like that, where you can choose what you want to pay. Since the artist chooses the streaming platform, everybody is free to choose a streaming platform that offers pay-per-view, But then we are not involved in this. We are not part of this. It's not part of our platform, the payment, We don't make any money with it. No, it's. But on the other side, you don't need a lot of. Once it's established, more or less runs by itself. You don't need to do a lot, which I like. It's like you give something to the community, and they do whatever they want to.
I think it's remarkable how he says it runs by itself. You don't need to do anything, because very often in the private sector, you see people not realizing the resources they have and the knowledge they have. And I'm pretty sure that if a municipality would set up such a platform, they would need pretty much a lot of work and a lot of financing to do it. So to me, it's a really nice example of how cities, municipalities, and generally the public sector should rely much more on the private sector, on the capabilities and resources that are there just available, and also on this will and desire of the private sector to make something significant for their community, to donate their time, to donate their knowledge, and to do this voluntary work, especially in times of crisis.
That's true, but we have to mention that in this case, the municipality was working together with Armin Berger. I mean, he got the first big input from Klaus Lederer. Of course, if he hadn't been supported by him, I think it had been also for Armin Berger more difficult to set a platform like this.
It would have been just another private initiative that doesn't get traction. So it got this amazing traction through the support of the Berlin Senate. I wonder, what did they do to keep this model simple and sustainable and also accessible to people who are maybe not digital savvy enough to dive in automatically and understand quickly how it works?
Very often people make the mistake that they want to, if they establish a platform like this, that it has to include everything. I believe that technology evolves so fast, it doesn't make sense to establish. I mean, in this case, we didn't have time to do it anyway in a different way. But still, it does not really make sense to set up your whole infrastructure yourself, because it will be obsolete in half a year maybe, because something new pops up somewhere else. So I think it's very important to find simple, lean ways, to use all the stuff that is already there,
Well, I think for most municipalities, it can be really interesting as a takeaway that if you want to create this digital one-stop shop for live streaming of cultural events or even for other municipal services, maybe it's really important not to try to make the perfect, most elaborated digital platform that will take months, to have all the specification correctly, but actually to use what is out there and to be really citizen-centric. So if they already use something, then take that and create the meta platform that connects all of that. So keep it simple and make it simple. And also, technology evolves so rapidly that you will have to adapt anyway. So use this adaptiveness and this agility that comes with software and with technology, and implement it in your thinking as well. So what I really appreciate about this project is that it shows us how quickly you can implement such an idea if private sector actors and public sector actors work together hand in hand, and everyone brings all their resources and capabilities on the table and work for the same goal. This was Good Practices, a podcast about municipal response to COVID-19 from Connective Cities. My name is Daniela Marzavan, and I was talking with the radio journalist Beate Stender about Armin Berger's Good Practice in Berlin. Producer Beate Stender, executive producer Daniela Marzavan. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you'll be back for our next episode. Stay safe and goodbye.
This podcast was brought to you by Connective Cities, the international community of practice for sustainable urban development, a joint venture between the German Agency for International Cooperation, the Association of German Cities, and Engagement Global Service Agency Communities in One World, commissioned by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development.